Hi, guys. Hi, Blaze. You were the first one. You're so fast. I was outside picking up pine needles. I still got a little bit. Oh, darn. I missed some. I have some sap all over my hands. We have one giant pine tree right next to the garage. And so we collect the pine needles. Well, they're little short ones. They're not real long. We collect those throughout the year and then put them into a big old box and keep them so that we can use them as kindling. They make some of the best kindling. It's awesome. I don't have to remind you. You're here. I'm amazed. No, your phone reminded you, huh? You set an alarm, didn't you? Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Marina. Oh my gosh, that is too funny. What's the date today? The 11th. Yeah. Hello. I want to join the VIP. Do I need to do that from my desktop? So someone just told me like seconds ago. She's on her iPhone and she clicked the link, and then up in the corner or down in the corner, up, down, there's 3 dots. You click on the 3 dots and then you say open in browser. And then it'll take you to your browser. And then she said she just signed up on an iPhone in the browser. So it won't let you do it that way. But if you open it in the browser, then apparently it works. So do it and then let me know. Because once could just be a fluke, but twice would be like, oh yeah, we got it figured out. It's awesome. Hi, Karen. Hello, Susan. That is not my mouse. That is that. So actually, Chrissy, tonight, in 3 hours, 3 hours, we have a meeting. So it's Mondays at 12 and 6 Central, and then Thursdays at 6 Central. And tonight is, what is tonight? I don't even know what tonight is. Let me see. Come on. Tonight is fat adapted versus being in ketosis. That's what it is. Yeah. So that's our topic for 3 hours from now. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. And then most of us all talk about how we're doing and what's going on. Hi, Raquel. So what's up with you guys? Oh, just so you know, if ever you end up getting sap on your hands, or if you end up with like a sticker or something sticky on your car, you can use straight lemon oil, lemon essential oil, essential oil. Yeah, lemon essential oil. I don't know why it sounds weird. To take it off. It won't damage the paint. It doesn't hurt your hands. I missed a spot right there. I didn't even see it was there, but I had a huge sappy glob over here. My fingers were sticking to each other. You just take it and just kind of rub. I rub the little dropper right on there. I just let it sit for a second and then wipe it off. It's all gone. Takes bumper stickers and things like that, stickers off of cars. If someone sticks something on the actual paint of your car and you're worried about it, you can do the lemon oil and it won't hurt it, because Gugon, I don't know if you guys remember that brand. The 2 main ingredients were orange essential oil and lemon essential oil. So I saw that and I went, hang on. So that's how I remove all of my stickers off of all of my glassware and everything. So I use the lemon, and that one, I don't worry too much about getting super extremely good essential oils. I always use Hopewell essential oils. Always. I love them. I think that their blends are fantastic. But the lemon, I've been known to get the Now brand or something else from Amazon, because I use lemon for a lot of cleaning stuff. But yeah, ever since going higher fat, my pain is better, but now I'm now waking up in the middle of the night having slight sugar crashes. Your body is going through the adaptation period. I like almost everybody is doing it right now. I did it consistently for 2 or 3 weeks. Hi, Julia. Where I was every morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, my eyes would pop open. And one morning I went in and I checked my blood sugar and it was like 97. So that tells me, yes, my blood sugar went too low and then my body had to adjust. So I think that's part of the balancing the hormones, because our bodies have to figure out how to work again, especially when we're in ketosis. It doesn't happen every night now for me. It's maybe once every 3 or 4 nights. So I think it's going to level out. Just like, yes, I've heard of the mustard to stop the muscle cramping. It did not work for me at all. Pickle juice works for me, but the mustard didn't work for me. Same here, wide awake around 2. Yeah, between 2 and 3 is the sugar crash. Higher fat calories for about 2 weeks. Yep. So a lot of people are doing that right now. I think our bodies are balancing out. The shifts are happening. So I think it will eventually stop because mine is starting to go down and it's being good. It's not nearly as bad as it was, but there's no guarantee. So some things that you might want to try, I actually drank some ketones last night before I went to bed, which a lot of people have said, oh my gosh, if I drink ketones, it keeps me up forever. I drank ketones and then I didn't wake up until 4, but I woke up at 4 because I got too hot. I don't think it had anything to do with my blood sugar. I think it just, I got way too hot because I woke up and I was starting to sweat. So I threw the comforter off. I know better than to fall asleep with the comforter on. The sheet, the blanket, and that's it. I'm usually a little bit chilly, but then I want the comforter because I'm chilly and then I get too hot and then it wakes me up. Yeah. So I drank the ketones last night. 8 maybe. And then I went to sleep an hour and a half later. Absolutely not a problem going to sleep. And so I figure I might do that. I was a little bit hungry last night. And I'd already had 2,000 calories. I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of hungry. Don't really feel super good. I don't know. I just felt off. So I drank some ketones. I had in sparkling water, ketones, and then some coconut cream and put that all in there together and drank it over about 30 minutes. Kind of sipped on it and had no problem falling asleep. Slept great until I was too hot. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to try that tonight. I've had insomnia for a very long time. So you're used to waking up a lot. That's terrible. Yeah, so some people say the ketones give them energy, but the problem is you're running low on fuel in the middle of the night, and that's why you're waking up. So I think the more fat adapted we become and the better our cells get at unlocking our fat cells, the better our body gets at unlocking the fat cells to unpack some fat to use for fuel, then the sooner that'll stop. And I honestly do not think that eating high fat is going to fix that part. I think the part that's actually going to be fixed, that's going to fix that, is the fasting. I think that Larry, yo, what's up? I really think it's the fasting. I don't think it's the high fat that's going to fix that part. Because when we keep feeding our bodies high fat, it can very easily just use the fat that we're feeding it. It doesn't have to unpack anything. So I think if we want to start unlocking our fat stores, this is where the eating window is going to come in really important. Once you get your calories figured out, you know where you feel your best with everything, then do that. For some people, overnight fasting is enough. For some people, it's not. So if you are doing the overnight fasting and waking up in the morning and your numbers aren't where you want them, if your ketones aren't quite as high as you'd like them to be, you might want to try moving your eating window a little bit sooner. I'm going to say this. That's the recommended way to do it, is to eat earlier in the day. I actually find I don't feel as good if I eat earlier in the day. I feel better if I eat later in the day. And maybe it's because of my blood sugar overnight. There's a lot of things. So everybody's got to experiment and find out what makes you feel the best for yourself. Let me see. Ever since going high fat. Oh no, Chrissy. I already read yours, Chrissy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, try that tonight. Do you have ketones to try drinking so that hopefully it'll help tonight? Yeah. I'm asking a question. Okay, so I've been with so many groups, so many Zooms, so many videos and classes. Our workshop was the absolute best. What you learned was priceless. Oh, you're so sweet. You're very welcome. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Any advice on how to get started with social media? Was it hard for you? I literally watched 2 months worth of videos on YouTube about how to start a YouTube. For 2 whole months, I watched a ton of videos. And I was so nervous about putting out the first video. And then someone told me, yeah, you just need to do it. You're supposed to be horrible when you start because then you're going to get better. Oh, not me. So that's how I did it. I just waited. For like 2 months, I waited and learned the whole time. And then I started. I'm horrible at Instagram. I am still not good at Instagram. I don't know what it is. I'm really terrible at Instagram. I don't know. I think for me with Instagram, it's coming up with the concept of what to do. That's like the hardest part for me. I don't know why. I can sit in front of a camera all day long and talk to the camera when it's like this, but when it's like this, I don't know. I just don't do as well. Very interesting. Karen says, laugh out loud, me too. I am hot from heat wave or hormones. When I started the iodine, wow, the hot flashes were insane. I would wake up 2 or 3 times a night, drenched. And it was at the time that I started upping my dose. I knew without a doubt, I just had this inner knowing that it's the iodine, and the iodine affects your thyroid. Your thyroid controls your temperature. So I was like, I'm just going to wait it out. I'm just believing that it's going to self-regulate. It's going to be good. It took about a month of every single night being woken up 3 times a night because I was drenched and I was so hot, and I would take all the covers off and then I'd get cold. So I'd put on the sheet and then I'd still get colder and then I'd put on the blanket and then I'd just repeat all night long. It was ridiculous. So it took about a month for me to regulate with the iodine. I'm assuming it's going to take me who knows how long. I mean, it took me about 2 weeks for the ketosis adaptation. So I'm assuming it could very possibly be the same type of thing with the adaptation and the hot flashes and the hormones, because you're refilling a lot of those fatty hormones, which happen to do with your thyroid sometimes. So yeah, that happens. Yes, Julia says, hit the like button, people. You're fun. I've been taking it during the day. No energy from it so far. Try it at night. Yeah, absolutely try it at night. Hi, Uncle Big Guy. And Larry O. I actually texted my dad. I was like, are you on YouTube right now? He was like, no. I was like, there's a guy here. It says Larry O. I was like, your name is not O, but I figured I'd ask because I was literally just talking to my dad before I got on. So it's pretty funny. Is overnight fasting enough? I know it depends on the person. I already answered that. Chrissy just finished a 25-hour fast. Congratulations. And hi, forward. I had a Dr. Boz of 32 today. That's awesome. Congratulations. You're under 40. I have some perfect keto MCT powder that was given to me. What's the best way to use that? I would say the powder usually is a little bit easier on your digestion, but start very slow. Don't go too fast even with the powder because it can give you fire water coming out your backside. You can add it to your coffee. You can add it to your tea. You can add it to, honestly, almost any drink. One of Lindsay's favorite ways to do it is to do the MCT powder drink with sparkling water and then adding like a coconut milk or something like that to it. It's so good. I do it with my ketones. If you add MCT with ketones, it can have an even stronger effect. So, yeah, you could try that. Did you get the plain perfect keto MCT powder? Or is it flavored? Lindsay's favorite is strawberry, and I have never tried it, but it sounds amazing. Oh, your Dr. Boz ratio today was 535. Yeah, I know. It can take a while. It's a long process. I'm so sorry. Just keep plugging away, chipping away. Whatever you did yesterday maybe didn't work. Or your body's just really, really, really being difficult making ketones. Let me see. Blood glucose was 102. Blood ketones. Okay, so very low ketones. Have you ever made high ketones? Have you? I don't know if you have. If you've ever made high ketones or if you've been still struggling like forever. I know Dr. Boz talks a lot about using urine strips for testing. Is that way accurate? It is the waste. It is the wasted ketones, not the stuff that is currently available. So it's hours after they were actually available. So you wouldn't be able to get a Dr. Boz ratio with the pee strips. It doesn't work like that. And what, baby?
Ketones in the pee is a sign of deficiencies.
So it's just telling you what you didn't use. And for when you first start, it can be a very good way to just let you know that what you did the night before or the day before worked because you made ketones and there was enough left over that they're spilling out of your overflow valve. That's what your urine is, or your breath is the other overflow valve, which means that your body figured out how to do it. Good job. And it's just, we'll just have to wait and see how long it lasts. Keep riding the wave. Let me see. Instagram is hard enough. I'm not a fan of Instagram. I never have been. I know I need to use it as a tool, but man, you're suggesting of 2 fatty teas in the morning, 1 meal at 3, and a fatty tea at 7 p.m. Help me get to my GKI of 0.6. Nice. I feel so much pain. Thank you so much. You are very welcome. I am so glad that it worked. Mine seems to work like that too, just really well. Just enough. That's hilarious. So yeah, I'm so glad that it worked. I don't know, for me, the 2 fatty drinks in the morning, the eating once, maybe twice, and then another drink. Lately, I haven't been doing my fatty tea at night. I just haven't really felt like it. And my ketones have not been as good in the morning. This morning, I think they were in like, it was like the 1 point, was it 1 point something or 2 point something? I don't remember. I only check in the morning now just to update you guys. I have not been checking at all in the afternoon before I break my fast. I switched over to, just I'm going to wait and see what my morning numbers. 2.1 this morning. So not as high as they have been. They've been up in the 4s. So I'm definitely coming down. So I'm going to try to make sure to get my fatty tea in at night to see if it makes a difference. We'll see. Chrissy, took me 3 weeks to figure out Instagram. I've been trying to figure out Instagram for months. Like months. I'm terrible at Instagram. Yeah, I was never hot at night before the iodine. The iodine for me made a big, huge change. Now I'm fine, but it took me a solid month of every night waking up 3 times before I adjusted. Whoop. Let me see. Oh my goodness. I just recently started taking iodine. Made no connection. I've started having hot flashes. Yep. Iodine affects your thyroid. Your thyroid controls your internal body temperature. That's what I was like. I think it's the iodine. I've been taking iodine for many years. Larry, what do you use for fat in your tea? Let me see. What do you think Dr. Boz would say about bioidentical hormones for menopause? She is totally for whatever you need to do. She is definitely one that is more pro medication. And let me tell you, when you're in ketosis, all medications work better, like the way that they're supposed to work. So it's very interesting. I think bioidentical hormones are the best option for sure. And I think that you absolutely should use them if your doctor says that you need them, Tanya. Like it's not to say that there's something wrong with you if you can't go without them. It's that our world is not what it used to be. It's very screwy. So there's a lot of outside influences that are messing with us to where we can't just, like in the olden days, not have to take any medications or any hormones or anything like that. We don't live in that world anymore. Between the bromide in your bed and the estrogen floating in the air, literally it feels like it some days. I think that it's a perfectly acceptable thing to do. Is staying under a Dr. Boz ratio of 20 or 30 too long safe? It depends on the person and on the situation. Why are you wanting to go for 20 to 30? Or are you naturally falling at 20 to 30? I think that there's a difference. If your body is naturally doing that, then I think it's okay. If you're forcing it, then I think that you need to do what she says and work with a doctor. But if it's naturally happening, then I think that your body is just very happy for right now. And I don't think it's going to last forever. I think that eventually your body will level out and you will start either having side effects from, eating too much fat. If your body adjusts its metabolism, gets super happy and then says, you're eating too much, and then you begin gaining weight, you would need to back it off a little bit, put it into an eating window, mess around with stuff. So Chrissy, I would honestly say, are you forcing it or is it natural? If it's natural, I really wouldn't worry about it. If you're forcing it, then you need to be careful. That's why she says work with a doctor. That is my 2 cents on that. What fat Larry puts in his fatty teas: 1 tablespoon MCT oil, 1 tablespoon coconut oil, 1 tablespoon melted salted butter. You do the MCT. I don't even bother with the MCT. I'm saving my MCT. I might, if my ketones keep doing this, like where they're slowly going down, I might start doing the MCT at night too. We'll see. What is a good fasting glucose number first thing in the morning? Asks Janice. Hi, Janice. I believe the ultra healthy range would be 65 to 75. That means you've most likely emptied out your liver and all your stores, and your body is functioning very, very nicely. But I have heard up to like 85 is okay. Anything over that is you're popping glycogen bubbles or something like that, where you're still clearing out your liver. So, and talking to somebody the other day, was it here? No, it wasn't here. It was somewhere. I don't remember. I have so many things. And someone was saying, I said it takes like 18 months for some people to clear out their fatty liver. And she said, it took me 3 years to clear out my fatty liver. So it could literally take you years to get those really good numbers in the morning. But slow and steady, reducing them, and then you're going to have ones that go higher and then they come down again. And, you know, so it's an ebb and flow as we chip away at our livers. It pops a glycogen bubble, we use some of it as fuel, and then we pack some of it away again, because every time your blood sugar goes up over a certain point, your insulin is activated. You have to put some away. Chrissy, I was like, I know it's one of you, but I couldn't remember who it was. Chrissy is the one that said 3 years for her fatty liver. So for anyone who's getting upset because it didn't work overnight or in the first week or in the first month, I'm going to point you to Chrissy and be like, you need to go talk to her. Okay. How do extracts and natural flavoring differ from sweeteners? Would they affect us the same? Some people, they affect them worse, because extracts, depending on what's extracted from, have alcohol in them. Most of them are an alcohol base, depending on how sensitive you are to alcohol. Natural flavorings are lies. Like those things, you just have to understand. Beaver urine is a natural flavoring. Sugar is a natural flavoring. Honey is a natural flavoring. It literally could be anything. Arsenic is a natural flavoring. So be very careful with natural flavorings, because you don't know what they are. That is their sneaky way of getting around not telling you what it is. So it could literally be high fructose corn syrup, and they've just called it, well, it's natural flavoring. So not fantastic. I know a good friend of mine here locally, she can't touch natural flavorings with a 10-foot pole, or she has a horrible allergic reaction almost every time. So she can't touch a thing with natural flavoring in it. And then each sweetener affects people totally differently. So some people can handle allulose, but they can't handle stevia. Stevia is related to ragweed. So if you have an allergy or a sensitivity to ragweed, you shouldn't be consuming stevia. And then other people can handle monk fruit, but they can't handle erythritol. And everybody is so different to how they react to things. I can handle natural flavorings for now. There's a few things that I do have in my pantry that I'm going through right now that have natural flavorings in them, and I'm just kind of paying attention. The key nutrients, electrolytes, are making my ankles swell. I'm trying to remember if they had natural flavoring in them. I don't know. I'll have to go look and see. I did go over 2,000 calories yesterday, the first time that's happened in years. Maybe that put the skids on ketones. It depends on what you eat. Did you go over on your protein or just over on your fat? Because obviously whatever you did not make your body happy. So if you were making more ketones before and then it kicked you out, then yeah, you're going to have to definitely go back and reevaluate. My doctor buzz after an 18-hour intermittent eating today was 27. Very nice, Bonnie. Congratulations. I'm doing 20 and 4, and my glucose is higher. You're popping glycogen bubbles. That's why your glucose is higher, because you're not eating for 20 hours. And in those 20 hours, your body has the option to make ketones or pop some glycogen bubbles. If you have a whole lot of glycogen bubbles stored up, it's going to pop those first. Like, yes, it could unpack and make some ketones, but our bodies don't want to carry around the huge amounts of glycogen that we have crammed into them. So it's going to want to pop those first, which means that your glucose is going to go up. Unfortunately, there's just no way to get around that. And it's so hard. Mine have been a little bit higher too lately. And macros are good. Ketones have been consistently 0.3 to 0.7 until this morning. 56 days on Dr. B's plan. So I would say it's probably time for you to start doing the eating window. If you've been doing this for 56 days and you are still only making that many ketones, then for you, it doesn't matter how much fat you bring in. You're going to have to start doing the eating window because your body is not playing nice with the higher fat. This morning, my glucose was 86. The day before that was 85. The day before that was 94. But that was the 9th. So that was a day or two after I hurt my foot. So I'm sure that had something to do with it. 80, 89, 86, 97 again. So yeah, there's a lot of, and then down in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 60s. So mine's kind of going up too, which means I'm popping more glycogen bubbles, which is why I was like, you know what? I'm just going to check in the morning. So I want to see when my liver finally gets back to being empty. Don't even know. Like it was better for a little while. So maybe at this point in time, I'm starting to eat too much fat. And now it's time for me to back off and put it into an eating window. My body is trying to give me feedback and I just have to interpret it correctly. I loved your prayers this morning. Thank you, you and Emily. You had Emily in tears the whole time. I love praying with Emily. And it's funny because we have met just one-on-one personally, I don't know, 100 times on Zoom. And we almost always pray at the beginning or at the end of our meeting because it's just what we do. And so we've, I want to say like 6 or 7 times gone, oh, that was so good. We should have recorded it. Oh, we should have done that. So that's why I was like, yeah, we'll do that. We'll pray. By fatty tea or coffee, are you talking about adding butter or heavy cream? Most people, Robin, add coconut oil and butter. Some can handle heavy cream. A lot of people they figure out the cream is not working with them. But I do 1 tablespoon of coconut oil because it has the long and the medium chain triglycerides. And then I do 1 tablespoon of butter for the short chains. That way I'm covered for like the whole spectrum of making different ketones from my MCTs. Just remember that when you drink the fat and make ketones out of them, you are not using your body fat. Yep. So, and once you start figuring out how to make your ketones from your dietary fat, and you're really good at that, then it's time to start backing down off the fat a little bit because then your body's going to start unpacking either your glycogen stores or unpacking your body fat to make its own ketones. So I think for some people, they're trying to rush it. You can't just keep throwing tons and tons and tons of fat at it. You really are going to have to, at some point in time, make the shift to where you are no longer burning the dietary fat. You want to burn your body fat. So if you're not losing weight, it's because you're not burning your body fat. You're burning the dietary fat. So you're going to have to adjust your macros and adjust things so that you can start burning your own body fat at some point in time. And that's where the eating windows come in really handy, because then, you're eating less fat, but you're also eating less often. So then it makes your body, hey, 20 hours a day, you're not giving me anything. I have to make my own fuel now. How rude. And then it's going to pop glycogen bubbles and it's going to start turning your fat into ketones. Because once it gets addicted to ketones, that's a good thing, right? And it wants to keep making ketones. I started number 9 on the continuum on Monday, says John. So far, all of my morning Dr. Buzz ratios have been under 80. Fantastic. Highest was 75 And the lowest was 20. Very good. Should I stay on number 9 indefinitely, or can I go back to number 5 or 6 in 2 weeks? So number 9 on the continuum is down here in the advanced, which says use intermittently. And number 9 itself says that, there's a tiny human. All of these say when the timing is right, stress to metabolism with 8 weeks. She generally recommends only 8 weeks at a time for these. So I would not stay there indefinitely. I'm not a fan of continually doing 36-hour fasts because I think you will eventually underfeed yourself. So I would say 8 weeks and then give yourself a break. And then you can go back to it again. But she actually says, your psychology, use your tribe for best results, use intermittently. And then she says, go back to your baseline metabolism in between these. So, yeah, I think for most people, continually doing the 36s is probably not a good idea because I think that the under eating will eventually catch up with you. Unless you can over consume on the days that you do eat to make sure that you're getting enough for like 2 days worth of bodily functions. If you've got a whole lot of fat that you want to burn on your body, you're going to be safer. But if you need to rebuild with a whole lot of protein, I have seen other programs where they did that continually and people's hormones got completely messed up. Now, most of them were not eating the super high fat. So I would say use caution. Yeah. Did you ever give recipe for your fatty tea? I don't remember which one of my what I eat in a day is on it actually does have the recipe for fatty tea on it. But yeah, I use honey, vanilla, chamomile. So always a caffeine-free tea at night. The herbals have a lot less oxalates in them for the most part. So I do a honey, vanilla, chamomile, and I do 1 tablespoon of butter and 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. And I blend. I don't do the egg at night. I only do those things. And then I drink that, and it's just like sugar cookie, but without the sugar. So, yeah. Let me see. It jumped. There we go. What flavor of tea should we take at night? There you go. Anything that is caffeine free. Oh my gosh, I've got a long road. I think we all do. That's why I keep stressing we're a herd of turtles. Very slow turtles. I have a Marco Polo group, and it's just a few of my close friends, and we are called the name of the group is the Galapagos Turtles, because the Galapagos is the slowest of all of the turtles, and we're totally fine to take it low and slow. That was me. Oh yeah, sorry, Uncle Big Guy. I use peppermint, spearmint. Oh, peppermint, spearmint. I like peppermint. I use peppermint if I have an upset stomach. I'm actually trying to save my peppermint tea because I don't know. It was months ago. I felt something hit my stomach so hard. I don't know if it had to do with the H. pylori or what. It just hit so hard and so fast. It was burning. It was horrible. And Cassidy and Noah were here, and I was sitting at the table, and I just looked at Cassidy and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but my stomach just lit on fire. And so they were like, okay, what can we do? And I was like, I don't know, but I don't think I can move right now. And Noah's like, is there oil you can use? And I was like, I was like, yeah, maybe. And he's like peppermint. You put it in the throw up bucket when we're going to throw up. You put the peppermint in there and it helps. And I was like, oh, you're right. So Cassidy went and got the peppermint oil. And then she was like, wait, what about peppermint tea? And I was like, yeah, let's try that. So she brewed me up some I sat there at the table the whole time. I didn't move. And she brewed me up a cup of peppermint tea, and I sipped on that, and almost immediately my stomach ache just completely went away. I didn't feel like I was going to throw up anymore. It was amazing. So I was like, we're going to go buy 18 boxes of peppermint tea until I start growing my own peppermint, because that was fantastic. So if ever you have an upset stomach, drink some peppermint tea. It's totally worth trying. Let me see. My body looks at all sweeteners the same. Terribly. Sweet tastes in nature always come with carbs. Always. The sweeteners that we have now that don't have any carbs and don't affect anything. Yeah, you can't tell your body, this has no calories, this has nothing. You don't have to, I don't need insulin for this. You can't tell your body that. After our lifetime of foreverness, your body is going to assume that sweet means carbs, which means raise the insulin, unfortunately. Macros were good, yes. Okay, we already talked about that. Yeah, I would definitely say, since your macros are good, 56 days, time to stress, time to do the eating window for sure. Let me see. My phone is yelling at me. Oh, that's what it was. Had nothing to do with anything. Let me see. Okay, explain that again. Ketones can be low while your liver is getting healthier. When insulin is high, ketones are low. Insulin and ketones work like this. They will never be up together, ever. This is why type 1 diabetics can die from too many ketones, because the insulin can never go up enough to make the ketones fall. So ketones and insulin work opposite of each other, always. They will never work together. If your body is popping glycogen bubbles and it's releasing sugar into your blood, and if it crosses a threshold, your body has no choice, unless you're a type 1 diabetic, your body has no choice but to release some insulin to deal with the overload of sugar, because the overload of sugar is dangerous. And when the insulin goes up, the ketones will drop. It's just the way that it works. So this is why some people struggle so hard to make the ketones, because their insulin is always elevated, because they are so insulin resistant that if they even smell something, their body releases more insulin in preparation for consuming whatever it is that you're smelling. You cannot trick your body into, no, we're not eating. It's okay. We're not. You just can't smell. Like when you're walking through the mall, do you remember, trigger warning, and you'd smell Cinnabon and you'd begin to salivate? That is because our bodies have been trained that smell equals food. That food equals sugar and or protein and or fat, which will need to have some insulin attached to it. The sweeter the smell, the higher the amount of insulin it was going to take you to be able to deal with that food. So if for 40 years you ate cinnamon rolls, for 40 years you trained your body, when that smell happens, we need about this much insulin. When you become insulin resistant, it releases that much insulin, but it doesn't work. So it has to release more insulin. And the more insulin resistant you become, the more it has to release. So then it's like, okay, only 2 units of insulin. Okay, 5 units of insulin. Okay, it's still not working. Let's bump it up to 7. And the more insulin resistant you get, your body is then, every time you smell a cinnamon roll, your body releases 50 units of insulin without hesitation. No questions whatsoever. It releases that much because you're going to be lucky if 5 units make it into your insulin resistant cells. So for the people who are really struggling to get to the point where they can actually make the ketones, it's because your insulin is so high that your body is not allowed to make the ketones. And those are the ones that generally find that they have a really long, hard road ahead of them. And this is where exogenous ketones can come in handy. Things like MCT can sometimes help, But when you're ridiculously super insulin resistant, even the MCT isn't always enough. The exogenous ketones can be, because they're already pre-done. You're just putting them into circulation. So there are some people that it doesn't matter how perfect you are with your macros. It depends on how insulin resistant you've become, because ketones and insulin cannot exist together. Not on the level that you want them to. I never get a notification. Do you have the little bell set to always? Some people were like, oh, I figured it out. The bell wasn't on always. It was on personalized. If it's not on always, then it doesn't work. And then some people are like, yes, it's on always, and it's still not working. So for those people, Tina, wherever you are, they set an alarm on their phone that Amy's gonna go live at 3 on Thursdays and Sundays. Hi, tiny human.
I'm just getting this.
You're getting your kitty.
Yes, and I found my garden kitty.
You want to come show everybody your kitty that you got for helping mommy while I had a hurt foot? My cutie patootie. She helped so much. Does it say anything right now? No, it doesn't.
I turn it off. Oh wait,
You're gonna fix it?
I'm gonna turn it on.
When my foot was sliced, she helped
So
much. And I'd say, like, okay, we gotta go shut the chicken coop. I need your help.
I'm just so excited. Wait. Let me do this song.
Which one? Oh, the song. Gotta get to the song. Okay, you get to the song. Okay, I love you. Going out, my sweet love. Oh yeah, turn it off first. Anyways, so yeah, I'd be like, okay, I need your help. I can't walk. Let's go put the chickens away. So I'd have to tell her, okay, you're gonna have to run out there and shut the little baby coop because they all want to come out. And yeah, so she got a toy the other day when we were out for how much she helped me. I mean, everything, like getting my water to if I forgot something upstairs, or she did very, very good. She worked for like 3 days solid. It was pretty funny. Let me see, but I haven't been gaining weight with the extra calories and fat, so that's good. Exactly. That's me. I'm like, I may not be losing a whole lot right now, but I'm making amazing ketones. I feel so good, and I'm not gaining. That is a win for me. Like, technically, I should be like 25 pounds lighter than I am right now. I'm like, I have a 30-inch waist. I'm happy with that. I am really okay with that. So everything else from this point forward is going to have to be like on an individual day-by-day basis of, I do think I kind of want to lose some more weight. So then I'll lose some more weight because, then I'll do the eating window and I will probably lower my fat a little bit and then I'll play with it. But right now, I'm happy. I ain't touching it. I'm perfectly fine. Let me see. Is refined coconut oil okay to use, or does it have to be unrefined? Don't really care for the coconut flavor. Unrefined is better because it's less processed. I think the refining process, they may add some chemicals to it, but I'm not positive. If it's just being strained, then you're fine. But if they're adding a chemical to it, then it's not a whole lot different than a seed oil at that point in time. I honestly probably need to look into that because you are not the first person to ask me that. I just know that the unrefined is better, but I'm not entirely sure why. I wonder if Judy Cho might have something on there, something on her channel talking about unrefined versus refined. I'm not sure if she's a big fan of coconut oil, period. Or Steve from Serious Keto. Maybe he would have an idea. I'll have to ask him. Be like, do you know? Listening to Jason Fung today a lot. He explains this chemistry. Oh, nice, Blanche. Very cool. What book are you listening to? Chemistry on Fasting. Yeah. What book? Which one of his books? You'll have to let us know. It's so hard for me to go slow. Lindsay, be patient. I will put you in a timeout. Watch me. I learned the hard way that rushing healing, it only slows you down when you rush it. It 100, you were so right, Chrissy. After 3 years of cleaning out your liver, girl, I am so proud of you. That is amazing. The patience that you have had. And if it takes me 3 years to clean out my liver, fine. It's fine. Hi, Keto Mama. Let me see. Honestly, cereal companies should be sued. Yes, they should. Yeah, you are 100% right. They should be held liable for deaths, for diseases, for medical bills. Yes, they should. We live in the world of no more real food. I honestly don't think that even the stuff that we can grow most of the time in our own garden is real food. Most of the time. We do have heritage seeds that I think are still kind of available sometimes in stores. But yeah, I think most of the stuff is too far gone to be considered real food. Like I can go out into the forest and I can find grapes that are the size of my pinky nail. Okay, my pinky nail's kind of huge. The bottom part of my pinky nail. But yeah, so here I'm able to go out and I can find like black walnuts and I can find, although the golden raspberries, those things are huge, even on my property. So very interesting. That is from Gabby's Dollhouse. Imagine that, Tina, you knew. Let me see. Didn't Fance, I don't know what that is, make a law that anything not milk is allowed to be called is not allowed to be called milk anymore, like almond milk? I don't have a clue. It's very misleading. Plant milk. Get in there and start milking teeny tiny little thorns. It's the best I got. Because plant milk. I used to make my own almond milk. Oh, I would make so much almond milk. And then I'd use the almond meal and then I would grind it myself and turn it into almond flour. And at the beginning of our health journey. Yeah. When we first went keto. Stored up a few oxalates in doing that, but I did get off all my medications and I lost like 75 pounds in the first year. 100 pounds? I can't even remember. It is something. Not a question. You were so right about suing food processors. Yeah. They have knowingly damaged so many people. And I think at the top, they know. They absolutely know. And I'm not sure at what point in time, like down the chain, they stop knowing and they start truly believing just like we do. Like they really think that they are doing the right thing and they believe that they are providing people with a healthy alternative. Like I kind of wonder like where that line is of up here at the top. Yeah, they know. But underneath that, and then as it's passed on generation to generation and the next, top person takes over, it's like, did you tell them? Do they know that they're willingly murdering people? Do you know what you're doing? Or did the decision to not ever tell anybody, like, did it stop with the first or second generation of this company? And then they just never told anybody else. So everyone is like this total. Julia's like, they know, with an expletive in it. I love how YouTube's like, are you sure you want to let her say this? And I remember I've worked with some people. I think a lot of them know. They do. So, and you know what? Karma. In the end, they will have to deal with it. I'm going to do my part. to teach as many people who are willing to ask me and who want to hear what I have to say about what I have to say. And other than that, I have already determined I cannot save everybody. I do not try to, take it to all of my family. I do not try to push it on my friends because they're not ready. They've seen my transformation. They've seen that I'm 100 and some odd pounds down. They know. They know I've come off all my meds. And but if they don't want it, they have to want it. They have to want it. And I don't want to ruin my relationships with other people by continually telling them, you really should do this. Like, it could save everything. Like, no, really. If they don't want it, they don't want to be reminded that they don't want it. They have to want it on their own. And until they're ready, I say nothing. So of my family and Richard's family, there's very, very few that do this with us. Very few. And that's their choice. And I cannot save everybody. I just absolutely cannot save everybody. And I have to just accept that. I'm going to lower fat back down a bit and try the eating window. What's the best window to start with, or do I just experiment? Whatever you're at now. So if you're eating for 12 hours, I'd say go to 10. And then after that, go to 8. So 10 for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, to see how you do. And then go to, my hand's a code, and then go to 8. And then see if you start getting results with whatever you're doing, then don't move. Stay there while you're getting your results. And then once you stop getting results, then you make another move. So for you, how cool would it be if just going to 10 hours was enough? It's probably going to be closer to like 6, 4 before you start getting results. But I am not a fan of jump right into the fasting. I think that shaving off time is good. You can shave it off by just an hour if you wanted to for the first week or 2. And take your time, slow and steady, let your body adjust, because it has to remember how to unpack these cells and undo these other things. So sometimes you're going to be tired, you're going to be crabby because your body's going, you're not feeding us. You're like, I know, because you have enough, fool, unpack it. Oh, I forgot. So that is my thing. That is my recommendation. I had something today with maltodextrin. I watched with my CGM and hardly any response. That's good. That never happened. I'm type 2, must be the high ketones. I wouldn't push it though. No, I wouldn't push it either at all. And that's the goal. You want to get healthy so that when you have something like that, your body doesn't overreact. That is the goal. No overreaction. Because Blanche used to make 50 units if she got a little bit of sugar, because that's how much it took to get in. Now she's calmed down her insulin. The ketones are high, so that shows that you calm down the insulin. So now when you get something, it goes, oh, this just needs 5. Here, there's 5. You're good. And that's it. No overreaction, no craziness, nothing like that. So that's what we're going for. I do not ever expect us to be perfect. We are going to eat things that we don't want to eat. We're going to get things that we had no intention of getting. Stuff is going to happen, but I want our bodies to be able to fight it and respond appropriately, not flip our lid and freak out. That's not what we want to do. Consistency beats all, folks. Yes, it does. It's better to, on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you had the perfect day, you hit all your macros, you walked, you got out in the sun and you grounded, you did everything perfect. It's better to have 25 of your days, 20 of your days of the month, and like a 7 or an 8, than it is to have 2 days at a 10. We're not going for perfection. We're going for consistency. That is far more important. That's my husband's phone. It's telling him he should wake up. I should tell it to shut up. Ooh. There we go. That was fun. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I know the Kellogg story. Yes, I do. I have watched Fat, a documentary. That was the very first documentary that Richard and I ever watched when we began our keto journey. And I don't even remember what we were doing. And we were sitting there looking for a movie to watch on, I think it was Vudu. And Fat, a documentary. Then I was like, wait, what is that? And so we watched it, the two of us, and because we were already like doing keto, but kind of like, yeah, we're doing keto. And then we watched that, and I looked at him, and he looked back, and he goes, we are never going back, ever. He was like, that was insane. We are never going back. I'm sorry, Amanda. I'll throw my husband's phone at him in a minute. That's what I'll do. Maybe I'll go beat him up with kisses. That's what I'll do. But yeah, so that was the very first one that we ever watched was Fat, a documentary. And they talk all about the Kellogg story, and they talk all about all of that mess. So 100%. Blanche says it was a video of Dr. Fung giving a speech. He blows my mind. I'll probably rewatch it a few times. I need to start. You want to know what's funny? I have never read or listened to more than 2 of Dr. Fung's videos. I have been so focused on the other stuff that I haven't even gone over there. So now, time to start over there. No, not family. Even Jesus couldn't. No, I don't think he could. Yeah. And plus, when we all get to heaven, we're going to be able to eat whatever we want anyways. So, why is there sugar in canned veggies? Because then it makes it taste better. My mother just recently went low carb to get some of my success. That's amazing, actually. That's incredible. Yeah, people will ask when they are ready. People need to want to heal. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. My family does know that I have a channel. They do. And they watch a lot, some of my stuff. Not a whole lot. So I lived in Africa for many years. They don't understand sweet meat, Chinese food. That sweet does not compute. No. Like, have you guys seen the list of ingredients for McDonald's fries over in Europe? And then for us, we have like 23 ingredients and they have like 7. At McDonald's, they're both McDonald's. They're both French fries. 7 ingredients, 23 ingredients. Like, it's not a coincidence that we are as sick as we are. Google it. Go Google it. McDonald's French fries in, I think it's Europe versus America. And you can see the ingredients list in the McDonald's fries. It's insane. So, yeah, no. Ours is exactly all for money, and we are addicted, and it keeps us addicted because it lights up the pleasure center of your brain. That's why one of my favorite places to eat was Buckhorn's. And I loved their tri-tip. It was so good. And then we would get the Caesar Pleaser with the tri-tip. And we couldn't go. I don't know what it was. It was like months that we couldn't go. I think probably we didn't have any money. And so we didn't go for months. And then we were like, okay, I really want to, go on a date and let's go over here. And we went back. I ate their tri-tip and my ankles blew up. And I had a headache and my joints were swollen. And I was like, what is this? And I didn't even get the salad because at that point in time, I wasn't even eating plants at all. It was just the meat. So it's like, what is on this that is doing this to me? And I asked for a list of ingredients for the marinade. Proprietary. they wouldn't tell me. And they were like, if you have any allergies, you just shouldn't eat here. That's what they said. Okay. So yeah, no, but buckhorns used to have the best tri-tip on the face of the planet. And then after not having it for 3 months, 2 months, whatever it was, I couldn't. The pulled pork from Costco, the stuff that I get is just smoked pulled pork. I don't get the barbecue one. I have like 5 boxes of the stuff because it's the only one I can find that's clean. But yeah. So look at the two. I had good luck just dropping half an hour from my eating window. Oh, nice, Lisa. That's awesome. I've actually been planning on, I need to start just drinking black coffee in the morning. And then that's going to be my first move. Whenever I'm ready to move on my continuum, that's going to be my first move, is just black coffee first thing in the morning and then push back my fatty coffee until later. That is my plan. I went from 12, 16, 20. I just knew when I was ready. Yep, reluctant, but I know so much of it's mental. We're like, I don't want to because I love food, which then of course makes you go, oh, maybe I'm addicted to that too. I had to get some magnesium capsules to take with my vitamin D finally for the past 3 nights. I had no cramps. That's amazing. Mine are starting to come back again. They went away again, and now they're coming back again. So I'm going to have to up my magnesium again. Dr. Fung was the one that explained the insulin thing to me. I was so angry when I was done reading the obesity code. That's what I need to get. I have 2 credits on Audible. So I'll have to do that one. Is Redmond's Real Salt has no sugar toothpaste? I have theirs. I'm using their wintergreen right now, I believe. It has no sweet flavor at all. Yep, no sugar, no fluoride. Yep, I have their wintergreen. There's sugar in toothpaste. Yeah, let alone every processed food. Oh yeah, we have a lot, like the artificial colors. I actually need to reach out to Rebecca Bevins and do another video with her about the artificial dyes, because I had a really nasty run-in with them recently. So definitely time to share that. And then we actually have a Give, Send, Go that we have, I think it's up and running, should be, where we're trying to raise funds to do testing in the United States to get artificial dyes banned, because you know that the government's not going to do it. So we actually started one up to where people can go. It's givesendgo.com/artificial dyes hurt kids. And it's going to be like 5 million to repeat the European study. The only reason our government will not accept the European study is because they use dyes that we don't even have. So they nullified the entire thing. They were like, no, I'm not going to do it. So it's about 5 million for us to repeat that. But then with those findings, we could petition to get the artificial dyes removed from all of our food. So we're like, fine, we're going to just bypass the government and do it ourselves. Because no. I know, Tina, they changed like the fries. I remember decades ago, they changed the fries and they tasted like plastic. I don't know. It was really weird. It was very yucky. But let me see. How many times do you need to test when starting the higher fat? And when is the best time to test? In the morning, first thing after you wake up, is going to tell you what your liver is doing. If it's emptying out its glycogen stores, if it emptied out its glycogen stores, and how many ketones you're making. That's going to give you the best idea of your metabolic health. If you want to know how a certain food affects you and your body for ketosis, The ketones aren't going to be made anywhere from like 2 to 8 hours after you eat it, but the glucose usually responds 30, 60, or 90 minutes afterwards. So if you really want to know what a certain food is doing, you could test 30, 60, 90 minutes, or just go with 60, right down the middle, because the strips aren't super cheap. Just to get an idea of what the food does for you. But first thing in the morning is absolutely the best one. If you wanted to, you could check just before you eat. So if you're fasting and you're like doing a 20-hour fast, then you could check just before you break your fast so that you know how deep into ketosis you got. But first thing in the morning is absolutely going to be the best thing for you to know the state of your metabolic health and when you become less insulin resistant and more insulin sensitive. Let me see. Yeah, Redmond's has the toothpaste that has no sugar in it. So some people, honestly, you could just use water to brush your teeth. You don't have to have the abrasion, especially if you're not eating. If you're fasting, you don't need something to scrub your teeth clean with. Water will be enough because there's not going to be any food particles or anything that got stuck in your teeth that the toothpaste has to help break up. You can just use water. Just brush your teeth with water. You can even do a little bit of peppermint oil on your toothbrush, spearmint oil, wintergreen oil, whatever. Wintergreen's a little hot though, so be careful. But then just brush and then you'll be fine. And then when you start eating again, you can start brushing with a paste again and it will be fine. Let me see. We should probably go. So, how many times? Oh, I already read that one. What does your chronometer say for your sodium, potassium, magnesium? Has it changed? I don't know. I honestly haven't even looked at my chronometer for any of that stuff. I will have to look, but I had to stop drinking the electrolytes because they're making my ankles swell. So, fantastically helpful, which the key nutrients aren't super high in electrolytes, but I don't seem to be able to handle any electrolytes. And the ones that are unflavored make me gag, and then I won't drink water. I just won't drink, period. I'm like, nope, I'd rather go thirsty than drink salty water because my body won't let me drink it. And after having to go through my throat closing up for those couple of months, I'm not going to force my body to do anything that it doesn't do willingly. Okay. Let me see. Anything else? I don't think so. Oh yeah, there's a life fasting app. Okay. I think that's it. We should go because I need to go tell my husband that his alarm went off. So, anyways, thanks guys for hanging out with me. And I will see you at the next live on Sunday at 3 o'clock Central. Same time, same place. Thanks for hanging out. And thank you for the questions. Have a good couple of days. And if you're in the Mighty Network, I will see you in a few hours. And if not, you should look at joining the Mighty Network so I can see you more often. Bye, guys.